Hello one, hello all, and welcome to episode 14 of season 3 of Fab Life with Lauren and Lee. We're back, we're here, we've got probably nothing to talk about, but we'll fill 45 minutes. Don't you worry, babes, we will fill it.
Well, I tell you who is back. Phoebe.
Oh my God.
Hello.
She's returned. Where have you bloody been, bitch?
Well, the restraining order's lifted.
Anything for our autographs on that restraining order, honestly.
Yes, Phoebe's been off the dizzy heights of the Vauxhall podcast studio,
Yeah.
and we've missed her. We've really missed her.
We always see her about. We always get a good Phoebe cuddle.
We do. She looks after us.
She does. We obviously have scared so many people off that Phoebe is like, do you know what? I'll just fucking do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
And I missed Phoebe because Phoebe always sorts me out with the mega pint of wine at my gigs.
Oh, the mega pint, of course.
Yes.
Oh, did you not get one?
I didn't get a mega pint, no. Or was it Julian? I
Yes.
thought. Julian.
Who we had last week.
Yes, he's
We like
new. Julian. But he didn't sort me out with a mega pint. But don't worry. You know,
He can
he's never to be
rectify
seen
that.
again. But don't worry.
You had to let him go. 'Cause of that. What are you drinking, Lee? It looks like you're drinking a mega pint of Aperol.
I
Spritz.
know. Well, you know, I'm drinking for 2.
Oh, no. You're doing us all a favour.
I just said to Lauren, I said, for God's sake, Lauren, you've really fucked it, haven't you? Because, you know, it's blazing sunshine,
Oh,
which
no.
really flares up my alcoholism.
Me too.
And poor Lauren has to bloody...
Do you know what I've got?
Oh, what have you got?
I've got a Corsten Press rhubarb blended with crisp apples, sparkling water.
Oh, God.
Deliciously tart. So it is for me. But yeah, I got it free at the station, actually. It took me back to promo days.
Did you? Did someone give you it?
Yes, it was ice cold. I got a little £1
Wow,
off
and
voucher.
that's quite... Because usually they give the tiny ones.
This is not an ad, by the way, but it is quite nice. And it could be a mixer for alcohol, so I'm telling myself it's a gin and rhubarb or something.
Well, after this, we're going back to mine, aren't we?
We are.
Because we're going to see a press night tonight
We are
of a show.
indeed.
But I do have a non-alcoholic gin at mine, which I thought I could pour us.
Really
but
serve it
I'm
well.
slightly I might
Just
go
me.
on the hard
Yeah.
stuff.
Just do it for me. Then I can have a sip as well of yours.
Really? Yeah. Just a tiny little...
I just have a little of people.
And then does that quench it?
Oh, I just love it. I'm just like, oh, enjoy that, guys. Do you know what I mean?
Have you ever given up alcohol? Or is this the
Do you
first time?
remember in lockdown when we thought we were going to get married like the second time?
Yes.
Because we moved it a million times. And I met you and Amy in Dean Street Townhouse.
Oh, yeah.
And we hadn't been drinking for we decided because, you know, we put so much weight on in lockdown that we weren't going to drink. And also we were just so bored. So it was just like drinking every day. So we've been mad healthy and we did it for 6 weeks. It was okay. Once you're in though, aren't you? You know, once you get past the 2 week, that's you're in it then. You've done 2 weekends and you're like, okay, this is serious. So that's the only time really I've done it.
What about you, Phoebe? Have you ever given up alcohol?
Rather than that, I had to sort of just
Drink alcohol.
No,
100%.
Yeah.
No, I was just getting not being able to handle it and not knowing what was it would be different every night. So one night I could have a whole bottle of wine and be fine, and the next night I'd have 10 pints and be fine, and then the night after that I'd have 3 and not be okay. So
I hate that when it's not worth the hangover. You know,
Yeah,
I've had 2 pints or whatever.
so I've had to cut back on my drinking because I didn't want to keep blacking out.
Well, that'll
That's
do
probably a good reason to stop. Do you know what I don't miss though? The hangxiety.
it. Well, you would get really bad hangxiety, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and it was only recently. I think it was the gin as well had started to be the hangxiety.
Oh, and you love a gin.
I know.
You know, my friend has had to give up gin because it turns her west.
Really? Is
Sends
it
her
really
west. Turns her into
turns
Rose
her
West.
into Maze West. Oh my God, Rose West. I watched, just a slight tangent, I watched Frankie Boyle's History of the Monarchy, and it's kind of like a docuseries, a documentary. It's only one episode, but it's his jokes, his comedy in between is so funny. And he was like, it makes the back of, it was something really dark, and he was like, the back of Buckingham Palace looked like Fred West's patio. And it was like, oh God. It was a great joke. It came out of nowhere.
Oh, I wish I'd have seen it for real.
Yeah.
Rather than
You
hear
could all watch that.
hear
you
a
know?
bastardized version
I
of
know.
it.
It's like when people
Told
go,
terribly. You had to be there.
It's like when people go, have you seen that YouTube video? And then they tell you about it and then show you it. And you're like, well,
Oh,
it's shit
what
now.
about when they'll get a YouTube and they'll be like, watch this video, and then you look at it and you can see it's 5 minutes 19 seconds, and you're like, oh, and then it gets to a point where you're like, oh, and you're like only a minute and a bit in, and you're like, am I expected to stand here for 5 minutes 19
I'm just gonna
seconds?
drink my drink actually now.
And then as you're showing it to someone, you're like, oh, this bit's funny. Oh, just wait for it, and then you're like, oh, well, okay, and like, yeah,
I'll
it's
finish
on
that
there.
later.
It's on there. Yeah. Check it
It's
out.
on there.
It's so annoying. It's so like, how long's
They're
too
watching
long?
you watch as
You know,
well.
if it's a TikTok, it's fine. But TikToks now have long form. It's like, how long is this TikTok?
No one's got more than 20 seconds, I'd say.
You know, yeah. Well, I'd say 50 seconds. 50 seconds is we're
Not more
living
than
in that kind of era now, aren't we? Where it's
Yeah.
like the attention span.
2 second rule. Do you know about the 2 second rule?
What?
So, like our generation, it's you have 2 seconds to grab people's attention with like an email header or a headline in a newspaper or whatever,
My
a website.
face.
Your face, yeah. Yeah, just put your face, you don't need the writing. Yeah, we've only got two because of like Twitter and all that jazz.
It's like, yeah, not
It's
worth our
just gotta
time.
grab-
'Cause, well,
yeah,
we've
it's gotta
got
grab
we're oversaturated with information. I hope no one's tuned out after the first 2 seconds of this.
I know,
I tell
bloody
you,
hell.
fuck me.
Anyway, I totally digressed. We were talking about drinking.
Oh, okay, back to
So your friend Rosemary West.
yeah. So she just can't drink gin anymore.
Which
It
friend is
doesn't-
this?
I wasn't gonna name her,
Oh, was you not? Are
but
they a pod listener?
it's Holly.
Like you've named her so many other times.
No, but as in like I didn't know whether she wanted to be outed as the
Also, the embarrassing stories you've told about Holly on this pod. And then you're like, oh, the shame of not drinking
Yeah.
gin.
yeah, she killed a man, but she doesn't mind saying that. But if you tell people that she can't drink gin,
Honestly,
by the way, she did not kill a man.
she
was a
isn't
woman.
Rose West. Oh, gosh, awful. So she can't drink gin.
She avoids it, yeah. But my other friend Keely actually used to not be able to drink prosecco because that would give her black. Oh my god!
Get a blackout
Talking of
drunk.
which, not to bring it back to me, but I will. I went out last Friday, not out, but like went out after work for some drinks. The sun was shining,
Yeah.
and
Life across the road from White City House as well.
when
you're on that roof terrace.
we were on the roof. The pool was sparkling in the sunshine, and we had some sparkling prosecco
Oh, great.
or prosecco. It wasn't flat.
It wasn't flat.
And my God, we had bottle after bottle after
dangerous, isn't
bottle.
it?
The next day, I was so hungover because I didn't eat.
Yeah.
That's the
It's
downfall.
eating.
It's the downfall.
I just forgot to eat, and because of the prosecco being kind of gassy and bloaty, I wasn't
You
hungry.
feel really full. I
So
know.
I'd only had some avocado feta toast, and I think I'd had in the day like a Huel, human for fuel.
Awful.
It's like that Diary of a CEO podcast. Have you seen it? I mean, he does very well, but there's always a bloody Huel in the background in it. 'Cause
Oh,
it's
is
sponsored by
there?
Huel.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's better than that. He's got enough money already, hasn't he? He doesn't need the sponsorship.
Well, they probably sponsor a lot, to be fair.
Yeah, they do.
We wouldn't say no.
That's why they send you a free T-shirt.
Yes. I've
I'd
got
love a
one of
bit
them
Huel.
somewhere. Would you? Do you know what? They are
I
quite
think they
good.
do like a pregnancy-friendly one. Like
I think
it's
it
got the right amount
probably
of
is
calories in.
pregnancy friendly.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because it's quite good.
Hmm.
Anyway, this episode is brought to you by Huel.
We wish.
No, what about if it was brought by Aperol?
I know. I've heard a few recently sponsored by booze, a few podcasts, and I'm like,
Aperol.
Aperol.
But so it's an alcoholic Huel.
Oh,
very
Aperol.
good.
Yes.
So you're getting your protein fix while you're drinking.
Oh, well, you know what? If someone invents an alcoholic drink full of protein, they're onto a winner.
The shits you'll get with that.
I know. Or you'd get bunged up, one or the other.
Mm.
It'd be horrible.
Hey, talking of drinks, and shits.
I had the shits at the weekend.
It's not really our brand to talk about it, is it?
Sorry, I realised as I said it, I was like, oh, I've lowered the tone.
No, I think we shock people though, because I think people think we're really like, fab life, like showbiz news. But the reality is like, like
Yeah.
hun culture kind of thing.
Yeah.
The reality is like, we don't read like mail online, do we? Or
The reality is, guys, we are just normal people, okay? We're just one of you. I know you put us on the pedestal and you think, God, these guys, they're fab life. Well, guess what? We're just like you.
the Aperol's hit.
The Aperol.
No, but I was going to say, we would just, we swear so much. Real potty mouths.
So, but I've started drinking these. They're called Happy Inside drinks. I'm going to say it now.
All right, go on.
I'm into the gut.
Oh,
I just spat everywhere.
you told me about these before. Are you back on
Yeah,
them?
I'm
You did
really
trial
into
them.
gut health.
Oh my God,
I'm like a
gut doing?
California hippie.
Are you regular? Are you really
Well,
regular?
it's not. I didn't really ever have a problem with it,
Right.
but
I was going to say you were always regular. You're fine.
well, yes. So, but I've just started. Have you heard of Simprove?
I've seen it advertised on Instagram, I think.
Oh my God, probably mine.
Oh my God.
So
Like ad.
every morning I get up and I have a shot of Simprove.
Sure.
And you have to then wait 10 minutes before eating anything because you don't want to trigger digestion because that's where all your enzymes will break down. So it's meant to you do this shot of it, and because it won't trigger digestion, all the enzymes won't break down the good bacteria.
Oh.
Anyway, and then I went into Waitrose the other day, the Tros, and I saw this. I saw this Happy Inside gut drink. I thought, that's me. I'm into gut.
And I'm happy inside.
Yeah. Maybe not outside. But I thought, I'll have some. Anyway, I've ordered a load on Amazon, and I'll tell you what, they have just...
Is it a yogurt
They've
drink?
balanced me out, let's say. No, it's not yogurt. This is the thing. It's not yogurty. It's not like kefir.
I love those
Or
kefir.
it's not kombucha, which is a bit fizzy and can give you a little bit of bloating.
Give it a bit of dicky tummy.
It's lovely and flat.
Sell it to me.
And it just, everything seems like, I guess before, let me try and explain it. If before my gut might have been like, da-dun, 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 but now my gut's like, dun, da-da-da-da-da-da-dun, da, da-da-da-dun-da-da-da-da-da.
Let me replay what I heard, right? So before my gut was like, dun-dun, 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 and now it's like, dun-dun, dun-dun. It's like the fucking same thing.
No, it wasn't. It was different. It was nuanced.
It's still you going,
And actually, it reminded me of a ringtone. No,
Nokia.
before my gut was a bit like, dun, dun, dun. So that was a kind of a bit lower. Whereas this is like,
a bit more up tempo as well, isn't it?
I think I was mainly doing, I do like to be beside the seaside.
I thought like the second one, you'd kind of lost your way with the tune bit. The first one was definitely the Pink Panther.
I don't know what it was. Anyway,
It's great.
but all I'm saying is I'm happy inside and out.
Oh my God, he's happy inside and out. Love it. That should be their tagline.
Yeah, maybe that could be the title of the episode.
Oh my God.
If I remember.
Gifted. Oh, let's get him gifted.
So yeah, it's all about gut health these days. Your microbiome. Have you heard of that?
No.
No.
Yakult? No.
No, Yakult's a bit of...
They're all full of sugar though, aren't they?
Yeah, my mum loves an Actimel. I say, Leslie, you want to get your Simprove
Oh my God.
because Actimel will trigger digestion. I do love an Actimel though because it's
They're
the
quite
sugar
sweet,
hit.
aren't they?
Yeah.
They're nice.
Sometimes I had one on a hangover.
Ooh.
Not one because there's different levels of hangovers where if you get anything that
Depends
could
where you're at.
curdle, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, like I could have a kefir, those like the natural ones on a hangover, but only if
Ooh,
it was
that's
a
the
light
risk for me.
hangover and you're
Yeah.
lining your stomach to go again. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
yes.
Just resetting the balance there.
Get your kefir.
Yeah, get your kefir in. But yeah, anything over, a level 2 hangover, it'd be like, oof,
No, yeah.
not having anything milky.
So what about milk and stuff now? Are you allowed it now? Are you
Do you
pregnant?
know what? I'm really craving like milky stuff.
Are you?
Not like craving it, but like I'll have whole milk and shit. Go for it.
Yeah.
I'm preferring it to oat.
Are
I
you?
know, blasphemes. But because people are all about the bloody oat, aren't they, these days? So I have to have 2 cartons of milk in my fridge now.
Do you?
Yeah.
As opposed to the one that you would usually have.
Yeah. So I've got double.
What do you get? Did you get the big?
I get a 2 litre semi. Oh, that'd be wishful thinking, wouldn't it? Yeah, I get 2 litres semi-skimmed, and at the moment I've got that mighty oat milk.
Right.
Because it used to be called like the Mighty P, and it had a really shit name, but the branding's quite poppy. And they've got like the better bottles that you can actually recycle that are like cone at the top rather than the nozzle. 135 Sainsbury's. Oh my God, I'm living with Sainsbury's.
Oh my God, why?
I ordered an online shop, right? And I do a lot of them to like get baking bits and bobs when I've run out.
She's a baker, everyone.
Dolly sticks, drink. That's on the bingo card, isn't it?
Oh, right,
Dolly
yeah.
sticks. I've actually got my own merch on today. I look terrible because of my big pregnant bosoms, but
I love the fact, like, you're like Amy, like, and some of my other friends who've been selfish enough to be with child, and like it shocks them that they're getting bigger.
I know.
You're
This
growing
skirt is
baba.
pinned. This skirt is
You're
pinned.
growing baba.
Yeah, I'm growing a human. Baba.
I talked in a baby voice.
I know, I
Gave
just let it
myself
slide,
the
it
ick.
freaked
I
me
just
out.
stared at you like, why did I just do that? You're growing baba. I don't know what's going on.
Oh my God, maybe that wasn't soda in the Aperol and it was like pure vodka or something.
Oh God. So go on.
So
Sainsbury's. What the hell's happened to
The
Sainsbury's?
delivery's normally top notch, can't fault it. They're even early sometimes.
Well,
So I'm in there.
that
could be
to me would
problematic
be
if
a
you're
fault,
out. Yeah, yeah.
actually.
Mm.
So think about what you're saying.
I normally do a really early morning one though.
Oh,
And then they
little-
come early? No, that would piss me off.
Well, I know when they're knocking on your door and you're like, you've not even got
I'm
it yet.
still in my pyjamas. I haven't brushed my teeth. What
you
do
hate it
do?
when that 2 litre semi comes early. Let me
I
tell you.
know, God, it's always knocking on my door. But it didn't come right. So the 2 litres semi didn't come. Awful news. So I rang them up and they were like, it's going to be 30 minutes. We'll have to ring the store. Didn't come. Just didn't arrive at all. So then I was like, I'm not ringing them up again because they clearly don't know what's going on. They told me the shop would ring me and they didn't. So I tweeted them. I was like, Sainsbury's, what's going on? DM me. Oh my God. So this was Friday.
Let me guess. We're so sorry to hear of your experience.
Yeah.
Could you please drop us a DM with all the details and we'll look
Yeah.
into this for you? Then one of those little arrow things. Jenny.
Yeah.
She's who man in it at the
I had
time.
Carl and Mark actually.
Carl with a C or Carl with a K?
Carl with a K.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Swedish.
sorry. I just don't know how I feel about Carl with a K.
Mm.
Unless you're
Would
Swedish.
you trust him with your... Yeah, unless he's Swedish. Would you trust him with your groceries?
Would you trust him
More
with your
than a-
life?
with my life? Well,
More
he's
than
only
a
on the
Carl with a
keyboard.
C.
He's only on the keyboard.
Yeah,
To
Carl
be
with a
fair.
C is a strong
And you know what? It was Mark S that sorted it in the end.
Oh.
So on Friday, I tweeted him. They were like, "We've called the shop. They'll be ringing you back to explain what happened." I was like, "Great." I just wanted my money back at this point and maybe a cheeky voucher.
You wanted freebies.
I want. Also, I was set back a day of baking because I didn't have all my goods, so I had to have a day off and then bake on Monday when Monday was meant to be.
So what was the problem?
Then I never found out, and they won't get in contact with me. Took me till Tuesday when I tried ringing them. I'd sent a complaint email as well.
Wow.
It was really shoddy. And when I rang them again, they were like, "Oh, we've rang the store. The manager's busy." I was like, "Excuse me, manager's busy." I was like, "Yeah, he's got all the details of what happened. He's going to ring you back." I was like, "Right." I was like, "Is there anything you can do? Like, what normally happens?" And she's helpless. She doesn't fucking know. Does she?
She's helpless, guys.
She just sits in a call centre.
Powerless to help.
Oh my God, God love her. Well, not God love her. I'm fuming at them all. And then they never called me, and I tweeted them again. I was like, "Listen, can someone help me?"
Listen.
Because
Even though I'm writing this, listen.
listen. Oh my God, that's such a good point. Because I was in the DMs then. Once you're in the DMs, once they'd open the DMs to me, I'm like, "Carl, Mark, where you at?"
Mm.
You know what I mean? And then someone was like,
Karl Marx.
"So no."
Karl Marx.
And one of them was,
Podcast. Karl Marx.
Karl Marx. Oh my God, doing bad for himself. Yeah, they were like, "Has no one replied?" And I was like, "No one's contacted me since Friday." Because they were like, "Normally it's 72 hours." I was like, "It's been over 72 hours." So then he was like, "I've spoken to the store. They're going to give you a refund." I was like, got an email the next morning. Thanks to Carl and Mark.
Well, I don't know
I'm
if
fuming.
anyone else's heart is breaking listening to that tragic
know.
tale.
But can you imagine how it was just
Oh,
a few?
fuming.
Are you just like, no one's getting back to me?
Question. If you've got that much time on your hands while you're not on maternity, what's going to happen when you are?
Well, do you know what? I kept forgetting that they
No,
hadn't
it
rang
is,
me back
it is
as well.
annoying because it's your business. Did you say, I'm trying to run a business
I
here?
did, and I was like, I can't carry this much 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 stuff from the shop anymore because I'm a pregnant woman. Use that, really use
Yeah,
it
I
when
like
you
to
can.
use that.
Yeah, you like to use
How
it.
often have you used that you're a pregnant woman to get out of situations that actually possibly might have actually been your fault?
I actually haven't. Apart from that one, there was a guy who was a knob to me on the bus, and my little wheeler here that I brought because I've just been at a Dolly Sticks pop-up today. He told me to move it basically and was really rude to me. And
I was having a bad day.
He was like, put it on the thing. And I was like, what do you want me to? I was like, I can't. I was like, I'm pregnant. I can't lift it. And I'd literally just got my baby on board badge. It was the worst
It's like they
moment.
notice it.
It was the worst debut of that badge. Yeah. I know. God love me. That's the only time. I think Freddie wanted to use it actually yesterday because he was teaching a writing class and they wanted him to go for a drink afterwards because it was the last one. And he was like, I kind of just want to come home. So I'm just going to say, like, my wife's pregnant and she needs me. I was like, yeah, do it. He didn't in the end. He ended up staying out. But yeah, so he'd probably use it more than
He ended up staying out. In the end, he thought, nah, right.
Nah, be all right. He's too polite. It's too polite.
Well, I just think it's a right. You should be able to use it.
Yeah, you should.
Well, I just don't.
I use it for seats. When people don't offer me a seat, it's
Yes,
actually quite
I would
annoying.
always offer a seat. I would always offer a seat to an older person as well.
Yeah.
Or sometimes even kids if they're a bit like, oh, and they look like they're
And they
hanging
can't
on for
cling
dear
on,
life.
when
I'm
the
like, do
tube's
you want to
stopping?
sit here?
Yeah.
But I just will say this. I mean, please don't become one of them people with prams where it's like you own the road or you own the footpath. And it's like, I have a buggy.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I have a tote bag, but you don't see me swinging it round.
There's a lot of prams like where I live, and it's like the bane of my life when I'm getting on the bus because it's like pram in and out like constantly, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
And just like, also, prams must be for quite young babies quite terrifying.
Because you're on this like roller coaster.
Although actually they're mainly looking at you at that point, aren't they? It's
Yeah.
only until they're a little bit
But
young.
yeah, if you're on the outside,
I mean, it must be
outside,
like, Jesus, where am I going next? Like,
it would be
on a
like
busy
roller
street
coaster.
in London.
I had a woman on the tube before, and I think she'd seen my baby on board badge, and she had the pram with it was like a toddler, and it'd obviously been making friends with other people because I assumed she was with them, but then she said bye when she got off, so they weren't. And the kid had obviously been talking to them, and then she saw me and she like smiled at me, and I nodded, baby on board, because she's like, oh, I've got a baby, great. And then she turned the pram round so that the baby could so I could smile at the baby, and you're like, no. I might be pregnant, but I don't want to.
Here's what you could have.
Yeah, I don't want to entertain your child. And she was like, and she was beaming. She was like,
Oh, she's a new mum.
like the kid was 2.
What do you think you're going to be like as a mum?
Don't know. Tired. Yeah. I don't know. Loving.
Yeah, I think you'll be really liberal.
Yeah, dead libs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
So we're going to see
Oh yeah, we're going
game
out
night.
tonight.
We're going out.
We're normally both rushing off.
Yes, we've been invited to a press gala night of a play called Game Night. Game Night or
Comedy.
Games Night? I don't know.
Game night.
I'm sure, yeah. And
At Wonderville.
actually, a guy in it does a podcast here
He
in these
does.
studios.
Beauty and the Beast.
Bunny and the
Bunny
Beast.
and the Beast.
Bunny and the
sorry, yeah.
Beast, yeah. But yeah, so I thought we could talk about games. We love a game.
We do love a game.
'Cause do you like a board game? But you're not very good when people get very competitive, are you?
It just makes me laugh because it's so
Oh, does it?
awkward. It's so cringy. Like,
Do you not remember when we played rounders that time? You were like, guys, it's not fun anymore. Because we were like screaming at
people were
each
getting
other.
really into it. Do you know what I hate though is when
Rounders.
you know the rules and then the competitive person can't handle that you know the rules. That's what was happening in the rounders game because me and you were kind of remembering, oh, we used to do this at school. Should we do that? Then like you can catch someone out. And then it'd be like, well, you can't just add rules as you're going along.
Well, this is what Craig does.
And
So,
you're like, what?
so my theory in life when it comes to games is as long as everyone is playing by the same rules, it doesn't matter what the rules
Fine.
are.
Yeah. Or you'd be like, add that on the next go.
No. he is someone who will get the back of the box and read the rules and go, no, this is, and like, it's like we play the rules as the rules are. You know, like in Monopoly, some people have different rules to the free parking.
Yeah.
Now, free parking really is just a non-space.
Yeah.
But
some people put the cash under, don't they?
Some people put the tax in the
I
middle,
quite
don't
like
they?
that
Quite like
version.
it, quite like it,
Yeah.
quite like it. But
You've got to have more than 2 players for that one, though.
oh well, you've got to have more than 2 players to play Monopoly
Otherwise,
anyway.
it lasts forever. doesn't it?
Jesus, have you ever played Monopoly with just one other, Freddie?
Yeah.
Oh.
I played it with Ben once, and
Oh my God.
the game is still set up in the box at home. I think we were playing for hours.
Lockdown.
No, like when we were about 16.
You and Ben playing Monopoly just on your own.
Like
oh,
summer
honestly, that is a fate worse than death.
I know.
Because I know what Ben's like, and he'd just be Mr. Serious.
He wasn't as
counting his
serious back
money.
then.
Oh, right.
His seriousness has he's really honed it. You know, that skill of being so serious over the years.
But yeah, so I don't know what it's about. Apparently, like, they're all having a game night and things come out. Because actually, I've got
Is it going to
someone.
be like Thingy's Party? What's it called? The play?
Abigail.
Oh, Abigail's
Party. But you never actually see Abigail. Is that the thing?
Yeah.
And
I
everyone's
think
popping
so.
in and out, and they've got the nibbles and that. Is it going to be like that?
Well, I don't know. I'm not psychic.
We'll see.
I've not seen it.
I've not seen You don't
I'm
know
as in the
plot.
know as you are. But like, I've got this friend Neil. You've met Neil.
Met Neil. Oh my God, you ended up playing games with Neil after we were all last out together. Tell us.
Yes. Well, one of the biggest mistakes of my life.
Blessing.
Oh, bit of hay fever going on, do you think?
No, I don't get it.
Oh, I just don't get
I
it.
don't get it. I'm
He's
made of
allergic
stronger
to
stuff.
This subject being brought up.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
could
I'm
be. You're
allergic. I'm being
allergic.
triggered.
You're being
He is the worst. I'm going to do a public service announcement. I might
Okay.
even clip
Camera 3.
this.
Straight
To
to
thank
camera
you to
3.
camera 3. I think Neil Woods is the worst person to play games with. There, I said it.
Oh my God, full named.
Full named. I'm going to clip it and send it to him. A bit annoying because I've got a sty.
Maybe we can just put a nice Paris filter on that.
Well, we'll have to.
We'll have to. What did he do? Did he? Flip
He's
the board?
so competitive, and it gets to a point where he'll be like, "No, fuck off," like, and he'll start like, and you know, like for example, if you're playing a game and then the timer goes, and they're looking at the sand timer,
Yeah.
and then they get an answer. And it's like, you can kind of feel whether it's in. He'll be like, no, fuck off. No, it was time done. And then you'll be like,
I
oh,
hate
give
that.
him it. And
Yeah.
then, oh no. And we were once playing a game and I was doing not very good on the game.
Yeah.
And I could just feel he was getting more and more angry with me.
Was he like, I picked you on my team because you were meant to be good?
Well, it's just hilarious. So then what happens is we played this game actually recently, something about unicorns. It's like a card game.
Right.
And you have like different like cards where you can do things to other people and like punish them or whatever. Well, because it was just so funny because he would get so affected by it. It'd be like, all right, pick a player to receive 5 penalty points, and we'd be like, Neil. Because it was just
God,
so
good.
entertaining
Yeah.
watching him.
You're asking. It's like doing the Bush Tucker trials. You're asking for it.
Exactly. He's the Gillian McKeith of
Yeah,
games.
he is.
Yeah.
Oh my God, nightmare. No, I have got quite a few competitive friends. When I was on that Hendu recently, what came up? Oh, we were going to do a quiz or something about the bride, and then like you could feel the 2 friends that I have that are really competitive, but kind of like they were like birds, and the feathers went up on their back. Do you know what I mean? And they were like, like they were nervous that they were about to go into a game with strangers, like in the group, because they're so.
Because they thought, oh, this is going to, it was like the whole.
It's going to explode. You know, they'd had a couple of wines as well. It was like, I
like,
remember what the game was that someone
is it
suggested.
like when Ursula in Little Mermaid goes like, moo,
Yeah.
moo. Talking of which, I saw the Little Mermaid, the
How is
remake.
it? Everyone's raving about it.
Really, really enjoyed it.
Oh.
Really enjoyed
Everyone's fuming at the asymmetrical makeup of Ursula, though, aren't they?
it. You can't really see it, like when,
Yeah.
like that was, but basically, I thought they stuck very closely to the film, which is why I enjoyed it.
That's good.
There was a lot of, there were a lot of similarities.
And the Sebastian is actually a crab, isn't he?
Yes, and so is the flounder.
Flounder's an actual. Yeah, he's not very good looking. God love him, is he, Flounder?
No, but
quite a
you know,
cute
I
cartoon.
wasn't really, tuning into.
Who's
I wasn't like, oh, I hope Flounder's hot.
Is everyone's about Ariel's dad though, the cartoon.
Well,
he's a hot Mac Daddy,
yeah,
isn't he?
but I tell you what, I was in love with Prince Eric.
He is a hot cartoon. Is the
At
guy playing him hot?
first, I was like, oh, he's not that hot. But then he had this real kind of endearing quality about him.
Is he a bit nerdy, like a bit of a
He's
nerdy?
almost a little bit, but like, and I actually at one point my heart was hurting because I was like, I want a prince and I want him to be called Eric.
I want a prince.
Why do I keep doing baby voice? But what about you? Did you ever fancy any Disney princes?
Aladdin. Oh God, I don't know what's going on with my voice.
Aladdin.
Aladdin. I was Ursula then.
Did you like Aladdin?
Oh, Aladdin's such a hot air.
I just think
I
he'd
love
stink.
it dark. Oh no, but
And
we
until he
clean him
gets
up.
made up to be the prince, I'd think, oh, I bet
Yeah.
you've got a bit of BO.
I'm not thinking about that.
You
He's
know,
so cute.
Arabia.
Yeah.
And he's, only wearing a vest and pants.
And he
I
don't wear
think.
any shoes, does he? God
No
love him. Imagine how
shoes.
dirty them feet are.
Oh, I know. I had my feet done the other day.
A pedi.
A medical pedi.
Medical, what's wrong with you?
Nothing.
Oh.
But I thought I'd get a medical one because I can claim it on my health insurance.
Oh yeah, and say you had
And
like
it's
something wrong
basically a
with you.
pedi.
Like you had a corn.
Margaret Dabbs. Have you heard of Margaret Dabbs?
No, how is she?
She's great. Well, it's just this great pedicle. Anyway, I don't know how we got onto that, but yeah, my feet feel like I'm floating.
Really? Still?
Yeah, it was only 2 days ago.
Oh, great.
But yeah, so you liked Aladdin.
I loved Aladdin.
Phoebe, what about
Eric's
you?
probably a close second.
I was worried you were going to ask me. So I realised as a kid that I didn't really have any like celebrity crushes because I was like, well, let's be realistic. Like that's not ever going to happen.
Oh my God, such a
From a-
realist.
from a very young age.
Yeah, yeah.
But the one that got me was, in The Lion King when he changes from boy.
Oh my
to
God,
man.
when he's
This
like
isn't-
rocking
I've heard
Hakuna
this
Matata.
before. I've heard people say
Yeah.
that before.
So the second half of Hakuna Matata was probably my sexual.
Oh my God, that was her awakening.
That was her awakening.
No, probably not my actual awakening, but I think that's the only prince because he's counted as a prince, right?
Well,
Yeah,
yes,
totally.
yes. I assume.
the animal
and then
kingdom.
He ends up
king
being a king,
eventually,
yeah.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
God.
But it's a lion.
Yes.
I've heard this before that people are like, oh my God, Simba's well hot.
Yeah.
Mm.
What's the other There's another cartoon animal that people think's hot as well. Weird.
I can't
I'm
remember
all
that
about
one, but
Aladdin.
my friend at school fancied Pingu.
Now
Think
that's very odd.
That's weird, isn't it?
Because you can like transfer Simba to a man and be like, strapping and like
Yeah.
charming, good looking, whatever. But Pingu to a man is kind of like some old
But everything about
guy with little
but
glasses on.
everything with Lion King is a bit weird because they made Nala look quite sexy as well.
She's very sexy, I think. Yeah.
It's weird how they made a cartoon animal
Mm.
Hot.
sexy. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a bit odd.
Can't say I fancied any of them.
No, me neither. But I can see what you mean.
Yeah.
Especially now you say it. She's well
Hercules, when
sexy.
he transforms from boy to man.
Bless my soul.
Because at first I was like, oh, I really fancy Hercules. I was like, maybe. And then transfers into like, and I'm like, fucking hell, Hercules.
Yeah, then he's almost got arms as big as you.
Oh my God, he should be so lucky.
Oh God, son of Zeus over here.
Maybe I've been with what's his face? Phil's boy.
Who's Phil's boy?
Hercules' sidekick.
What was that?
Oh.
No, not any other Phil. I have not been with any other Phil.
Me and Phoebe were like
There's a
clenching our
bit
arms
when
then.
I hear myself say it, and I'm like, I've mentioned the elephant
We're
in
not
the
allowed
room.
to mention that.
Well, we are, but we just.
We're not. We're vetoing it.
Anyway, hasn't the weather been lovely?
Oh my God, so sunny down here in London town.
No, Phil's boy, because that's how I remember it in Hercules. He goes,
really?
"That's Phil's boy."
Not
Yeah,
Phil's
the little
boy.
troll. No,
Oh,
the guy that
Danny
trains
DeVito.
him. Yeah,
Danny
yeah.
DeVito. Yeah. Oh, it's a shame that Danny DeVito is like they've cast him as a small guy, like with a bald.
Yeah, because I bet he thought, ooh, cartoon, I could be anything.
Yeah, especially like around like the Zeus Greek gods. Great. No,
Mm.
he's a little troll.
Yeah, God love him.
I saw this. There's like not a study, but there's something called like Danny. If you've been like Danny, if a character's been Danny DeVito'd, have you seen this?
Is it to make sure that they're not predatory?
Yes, but it also is like hindered roles in the past because like the Penguin is disgusting, isn't he? In Batman,
Oh, I thought we were back on Pingu.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
I was like, ask her mate.
like he bites a
She
man's
disagree.
nose off, but like every role he's done where he's playing someone bad, like Matilda's dad, he's forgiven because it's Danny DeVito playing it, and in real life he's. So actually, you
Oh,
don't
I
take
saw
it all
it-
seriously.
I saw a different thing that was like, if your character Or like if you can say that, if Danny DeVito can say it, and it's not, then it's not creepy.
Oh, okay.
Wait, no, I didn't. Sorry, I've interjected and also derailed the pod there. It was like basically if you can say something, if Danny DeVito could say it and it would still work, then it's fine. Then it's a good line. But if not, then it could be a bit of I'll Google it and I'll tell you after.
If it's something that Danny DeVito could say and get away with, then it's fine.
But I think he's another level. I think he can get away with more.
Because he's small.
Problem. Yeah, because everyone loves him so much.
Power dynamic.
Yeah, terrible. Anyway, back to games. Tell us what you hope. What games do you think will be in the thing? Because I think the poster for tonight is like a Trivial Pursuit board. Like a wheel.
Yes. I never was that fussed about Trivial Pursuit.
My in-laws absolutely love it.
Really?
That's like all we play. But they all know all the answers because they played it so many
times. Oh, you can always tell.
They know the cards.
I've played games with people before and I'm like, you've played this before, because they'll get questions
that are like, no one fucking knows that. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at the game, the poster that much.
It's quite cartoony.
But you know my favourite is Cluedo. I'd love to go on like a weekend murder mystery of like Cluedo.
Me too, we should do that.
Yes, you would so be Miss Scarlet.
I know.
I always was Mrs. Peacock.
Oh yeah, of course you were. Darling. She's basically Maggie Smith.
Yeah, I loved Mrs. Peacock. I just love to do that in a manner. Like maybe when I'm rich, I could just hire and like have all my friends round and be like, you've been brought here.
And all the actors.
Yes. So good. And just drinks galore.
But you also like Ticket to Ride. I always think of you whenever I see that in a shop.
Well, I can't really play that anymore. It's a bit of a trigger.
Oh,
because I bought it for my ex.
Oh, God, yeah, you did. So I have to bring that up.
So sad, isn't it? Bought Ticket to Ride.
So sad. Oh.
Turns out we got a ticket to ride, a one-way ticket away from me. Because it dumped me.
We laugh, but it's sad. He's not happy inside anymore, is he?
No more riding for Lily.
He's going to need a lot of Simprove in the morning to get through this.
Oh, no, I saw something today where it said, what did it say? Great podcast content. I forgot what it said. It said something like narcissists. Right, we're going.
We love to bitch about narcissists.
Wait, hang on. Whilst you're getting that, I found the Danny DeVito thing.
Oh, please read it out.
It says, if you change a fictional character to Danny DeVito, and by doing so that makes the character a psycho, the character was always a psycho. So if you change Jamie Dornan's character, Christian Grey, in 50 Shades of Grey to Danny DeVito, and that makes you uncomfortable, that character was always uncomfortable. I think it's to stop hot people getting away with shit.
Sure.
No offence to Danny DeVito.
Yes.
But he is an attractive man in his own right.
He's a lovely little guy, isn't he?
He's a lovely little guy.
Oh, but that's a good test.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's explained much better than what I garbled earlier.
The Idol thing, just before we go on about narcissists, because this guy's a narcissist in the show, with The Weeknd in, and Lily Rose Depp, so it's just come out, and she's a pop star. It's a Sky thing, a HBO thing, I think. But it's been like really controversial. People left and stuff because it's basically about like a pop star who retires because she can't handle it anymore, and then she gets this life guru, and they end up having a sexual relationship. Who's The Weeknd, the singer of The Weeknd, not just Saturday, Sunday, and he like starts to control her then, and like gets her back singing, doing all this stuff. So it's about a coercive relationship, but it all kicked off in the thing. So if you'd made The Weeknd's character be Danny DeVito, it wouldn't have got made. Because I really don't want to watch it. I really don't think it should have been made.
Saying that, like, you know, if Jamie Dornan was going to maybe like tie me up and do things that were a little bit, you know, not necessary or not appropriate or a little bit psychopathic, I don't know if I'd mind it.
Comedian Hattie Preston has a bit about that, and she's made many drunk girl cry, and a man in a fleece once came and complained to us.
Why? Because he was like, I'm a horrible person.
Yeah, I've had some thoughts.
Oh my God.
No, because her whole bit is about what was that thing that he was in on Netflix about being a serial killer?
Oh, with
I don't know what the show was
Mulder and
called.
Scully.
Yeah, and her whole thing is like, she's not saying that if they're hot it's not assault. She's just saying if it's Jamie Dornan then it's not. And people are still not understanding the joke and they're getting very offended.
Yeah, like if Jamie Dornan did something, but if Danny DeVito started doing it to me, I'd be like, I'm not okay with this.
It's the Danny DeVito effect. It's the the Danny DeVito test. It's successful. It works.
Yeah. God, Jamie Dornan's hot. I remember
really
when I remember when I was watching Graham Norton once, and he was on Graham Norton's show.
Is that when you hear his proper accent as well?
Yeah, and he talked in this kind of Irish accent, like so hard. But then he's actually really quite funny. So he was saying something quite droll and dry, and said, oh. And I was watching Graham Norton at home, and I was like this. I was like, and like he'd say something, and I'd go.
Like he was in the room,
like he was saying it just to me.
Yeah,
like I was like, and then like he'd say something, I go, like I was just, and then I found myself doing it, and people would like sat with, and they were like, "You okay?" And I was like, "I'm really." And he's one of them actually. He's one of them where I don't really want to fancy him because like it's such a cliche, but fucking hell, he's hot.
He's so hot. It's because he's understated hot.
What? Who else?
Who else? I used to think that about Ryan Gosling. Me when he first came on the scene, like he was so indie.
I love it. Ryan Gosling me.
Just Ryan Gosling me.
Gosle me up, Ryan.
Oh, he's so great. But he was a bit more indie when he first came on the scene. So I was always like, oh, he'd be a really good celeb to go out with because he's like, everyone knows that he's hot, but he's not everyone's cup of tea. And then he just got massive, didn't he? And like now everyone fancies him. But he was always...
Well, I can't wait to see Barbie. I'm actually really excited.
Me too. It
actually looks really good.
It looks so fun.
I'm surprised they didn't cast you guys as Barbie and Ken.
Oh, imagine.
Thank you.
Don't you think though?
Oh
I know.
my God, we're so castable.
Well, I got called up the other day, and it was for a gig, a regular hosting thing that I do. You know, like Dabbers and stuff.
Yeah.
So they were like, "Oh, we want to put something out there for the launch of Barbie."
They need to do a Barbie special.
And he was like, and I feel like, you know, we were chatting in the office, like, who is our most, you know, Ken like? So he's like, we'd love you to go. And anyway, so we were like talking.
Go blonde again.
And then I went to him, just to let you know, I was like, if you are expecting me to dress up as Ken, you will need to pay me a lot of money for this. I was like, I
already have the wardrobe at home.
I'm not just like being Kenified. I mean, do I already look a bit Kenified?
Yeah, I mean, look at your shirt.
I'm a Barbie girl. But I actually think it looks really good.
It looks so good. That scene has caused outrage when she walks on her toes and steps into her shoes. Because obviously Barbie's always on her tiptoes.
Yeah.
It's so iconic. And she just like walks.
Yeah, and then she gets her heels to the ground and she goes into the real world.
Is that what happens in it?
Have you not seen the extended trailer?
No.
Oh, it's so good. She goes into the real world.
Oh my God, I bet she's so great. I bet she's like Danny Lou Hill, isn't she?
I actually think, because it's Greta Gerwig. And she's an excellent director. I think it's going to be very good.
It's excellent. It's going to be great. I'm very excited.
The quote was, the narcissist quote, it's kind of passed me by now, but I'm going to read it anyway.
We love to bitch about narcissists though, don't we?
Narcissists are like, yeah, I hurt you, but now you hate me, so I am the true victim.
Oh God, it's always about them.
And I saw that today, and I tweeted it saying, paging my ex. Petty Peart. Oh, he's not on social media, so.
Oh, has he come off?
Oh, he came off ages ago.
He'll probably have some weird profile stalking you. I still get friends of mine's exes. Does that make sense? I realised recently when I was in Brussels looking at my story. You know, when you see, I never look at who looks at my story anymore. When it first came a thing, you were like, oh my God, look who's looked. And yeah, he doesn't even follow me. And I was like, I'm going to block him because that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
I did the, biannual stalking of an ex, when you accidentally go down that rabbit hole the other day. And some of my friends still follow their account, even though I don't.
Yeah.
That's bad, isn't it?
It's weird. I've done that before and been like, why does my friends?
Well.
And they were, by the way, they were never that close.
Yeah, just to play devil's advocate. I think it depends on how you fell out. Like, if you just had an amicable breakup, then I don't think it's as bad. If you had if they cheated or whatever, and
it's a
or they treated you terribly, I would say unfollow. But actually, also, what I've always found is, if you unfollow straight away, there's always that kind of. It almost could look a bit petty. It's like, oh, you've got all your friends to unfollow me.
Depends
blah, blah, blah,
how
blah.
often you go on socials as well, because sometimes you don't know who you're following.
Yeah.
And then they'll pop up because they're not in your algorithm. And I'm like, God, why am I still following them?
Yeah, or they could just be a bit muted. But I do know what you mean. Like it depends. It depends on how you broke up, I think. I mean, my friends didn't even follow my ex because, I mean, Jesus, he barely met them. Cause
I never met him. There you go.
You never met him?
No.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't.
Just imagine a piece of shit on the floor.
Oh my God, is that my ex down there as well?
Yeah. They're merged into one. No, I shouldn't really trash my ex.
Why not? It's so great.
I know.
Trash your ex.
Especially on a podcast.
Oh my
yeah.
God. DM us your trashing your ex story.
Yes.
I love that.
DM us some stories of your arsehole ex-boyfriends. I'd love to do an ex-spesh.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Of like random shit they did to you and you believed it.
Yeah. The lies.
I love stuff like that.
The lies, the deceit,
Yeah.
the narcissism.
Oh, it's going to be a great app. Please write in.
Write in. I love you when say write in. As if they're sending a letter.
PO box, yeah. Do you know what Irish people always say? And it always, you know, like if you're with an Irish person, then they say like, text me later, like WhatsApp me. They go mail me.
Mail me.
Mail me. Or like, I'll mail you later.
My friend Maurice
and you're like,
says...
mail me? What?
Yeah.
Like as if I'm going to send a letter.
My friend Maurice is Irish and he'll say, your man.
Oh, I love
but
your
that
man.
means and I go, my man, I don't know. I've never met them. And he'll be like, no, I was with your man.
Yeah. So your man comes over and he's
Yeah,
like, whatever.
but that means this guy.
Yeah. Well, in Haydock, which is where I'm from, obviously, in like not in St Helens, but just in Haydock, they're saying like yon mon. And I think they say it in Wigan as well. And that means the same. It means like that man over yonder. So it'd be like, oh, yon about? And you're like, oh, yon mon.
Yon mon.
Yeah, yon mon. And that's the same. That's like the same. I remember Freddie only finding that out like about a year or two ago. And he was
Yon mon.
like, what? And then I told Paul, I was like, guess what? Freddie's just found out. He's still finding out all the slang, you know? But yon mon, we have that as well. So it's like...
Maybe that'll be your baby's first words.
Yeah. Yon mon.
Yon mon. Your baby will go, run mon. And you'll go, oh, it's Drew Haydock.
I was talking to my friend at the weekend. Oh, lives have changed. You know, we went for...
Lives have changed. Now we talk to each other.
Oh, God, yeah, honestly. And there was a few babies saying, like, they've recently had babies. And her husband is from Argentina, so he was speaking Spanish to the baby. And I was like, oh, my God, that's so cute, because she's going to be bilingual, and that's great. And then my friend, whose husband it was like, well, yours can be half Scouse. You know, like, yours will have another language as well. I was like, oh, thanks.
True.
Well, that slang, it's got to learn.
Oh, the Scouse slang.
I don't know. Well, I'm not actually Scouse.
No, I was...
from... But I think they meant like because Freddie's from the Wirral. And
North. Oh, is Freddie from the Wirral?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, of course he is. Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
In my head, he was Southern.
No.
But he kind of talks like
He's got
Southern,
a weird, flowy...
Well, he's an artist. He's a true
An
artist.
artist. And I'm like, oh, God, I just chinned the microphone. Got really into that then. So
Old habits die hard.
yeah.
Anyway, I think, well, you've got to go.
We've done it.
It's just it's done, isn't it?
Done.
We're off to see Game Night, so we'll
pop it
update
on socials,
you. Yeah,
won't we?
We'll update you on that later next week when we do episode 15. But until then, please do leave us a review. I'm going to say this now. I'm going to do a shout out, right? If you're listening to this right now, or if you're watching on the YouTube, could you please go on to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and just leave us a nice review, because it always helps with the algorithm. And we'll read some out if you do them or whatever, and give you a little shout out. Because the amount of people that listen to this every week,
the numbers have gone up last few
I
weeks.
know, I'm as shocked as you are. It's total drivel. But
I get that email and I was like, whoa.
Wow, guys, we're huge. But please do leave us a review, because it would be nice and it really does help. And do recommend us to your mates.
That's how word gets around.
Word gets around. It's still the most effective form, I think, of advertising.
It is indeed.
Word of mouth.
Get it out there, babes. Get it out there.
But otherwise, enjoy the sun. Get your Factor bloody 50 on.
Guys, melanoma's not worth it.
You don't want to burn in that bloody 30-degree heat, do you?
You don't, darling. Hope you've got it on today.
I haven't got anything on today.
Of course he's not.
I'm recording this naked.
People are like tuning onto YouTube straight away.
No. God only wishes. And yeah.
Have a
Phoebe,
fab
it's been
life.
great to have you back.
Oh,
It
thank you
really
for having
has.
me back.
Welcome
It's
back.
been great. Well, we didn't have a choice. But until then, this has been episode 14 of Fab Life.
With Lauren and Lee.
Fan bloody tastic.